And hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat, and today we are going to 100% accurately predict exactly what is going to go on and what's going to go down in Survivor Series War Games in Canada. And Future Royalty says, hello, Grand Cat. Hello, Future Royalty. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to be trying to guess this 100% correct. I'll just go into here. I think this is hilarious. Let's see if anyone says hello. There's Cheeseburger and an Undertaker. Future World says hi, YouTube. Oh my goodness. As one of the Grand Cat haters out there. Okay, not as many Grand Cat fans in the chat duels as normal. Sometimes you get some reactions from there. But okay, let's get into the actual predictions, shall we? The True Hawkster says the future of royalties beat me to it and shared the link already. Congratulations, Future Royalty. You have managed to surpass or succeed the True Hulkster in your sharing abilities. Now let's look into what the actual matches are for Survivor Series War Games. Now there's 5 matches. However, there's 2 of them that consist of 10 people, which means there's going to be 5 winners in each one. So that means that you're going to have a pretty good chance of getting some wonderful rewards from this event. So, starting from the bottom, Future World says EO should be in the predictions. She is. She is in the Women's War Games match as part of the 5-on-5 of the females. Now, Future says Team Rhea. So we are starting off with LA Knight, yeah, against Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura getting his annual push, of which he'll have 2 or 3 matches, and then he will just fall off the roster once again, because that's what Shinsuke Nakamura seems to do. So I think it is a guaranteed victory for LA Knight. I think he's going to defend the United States Championship. I would be very, very surprised if Shinsuke Nakamura were to beat LA Knight for the United States Championship. Hopefully that won't happen. I think it's going to be LA Knight. Next up is the triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, which is Braun Breaker against Sheamus against Ludwig Kaiser. Someone asking, can I give them mod? I don't just give random people mods. Charlotte Foster asking, can you give me mod? No. No, I cannot. Once you've earned it, perhaps. But not just for coming on and just saying that. Oh, that's crazy. So we've got Braun Breaker against Sheamus against the Ludwig Kaiser. The triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. And right. So Survivor Series is going to set up for the Royal Rumble, which is going to set up for WrestleMania. So what we need to start thinking about is what happens at WrestleMania. Now, they have been pushing the storyline with Sheamus being the Intercontinental Championship being the one title that he has not gotten for around about 4 years now, I reckon. And I think Sheamus is going to win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to happen at Royal Rumble. I don't think it's going to happen in Survivor Series. I think it's going to be a huge, big event where Sheamus is like, I need to win this now. You know, like, I'm running out of time. You know, I'm not as young as I used to be, this kind of thing. And I think that's what the storyline is going to be. And I think Sheamus is probably going to beat Braun Breaker. So I could see Braun Breaker defending in this match. However, I do see a scenario where Ludwig Kaiser wins depending on what happens between Gunther and Damian Priest, because Gunther told Ludwig to go out and be his own man, and Gunther has done this whole program of being scared and nervous about taking on Damian Priest. So let's talk about that match next. Going to be Gunther as the reigning World Heavyweight Champion going up against Damian Priest. Now, to me, it doesn't make sense for Damian Priest to just get the title back. I think Gunther is going to drop the belt to someone else. Now, I could actually see Ludwig Kaiser interfering and, like, I could see Ludwig losing the Intercontinental Championship match and then interfering in the Gunther versus Damian Priest match and getting Gunther the win, and Gunther not being happy about it, saying, like, what are you doing? I wanted to beat Damian Priest by myself, and Ludwig saying, you can't beat Damian Priest by yourself, something like that, which then starts a feud between Ludwig and Gunther, or at least starts the beginning of a feud between them, because I think someone else is going to take the belt off of Gunther, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. So, I think Gunther's going to retain in that match. I think Braun Breaker is going to retain the Intercontinental Championship, and I think LA Knight is going to retain the US Championship. I don't think any titles are going to change hands here. Now let's go into the women's match first. The women's match is Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley replacing Jade Cargill, taking on Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. So I think this match has to set up what happens next. So I think there's a couple of storylines here. Jade Cargill was pushed into a car, and there's a whole who done it, who is the mystery person, and we know that Bianca Belair has an alibi because she had a match when that happened, so it's not Bianca Belair. I think she'll be the one doing the sleuthing. She's going to be the detective in all this, and I think it's actually Bayley who took out Jade Cargill to get her place in Survivor Series War Games, because she had this whole storyline and feud, and I think Bayley's going to turn heel, because I don't think she's doing much as a face right now, and I think the women's division just needs a couple of more dangerous heels. I mean, like, Liv Morgan is good as a heel, but, like, she's not your stereotypical threat. I mean, Raquel Rodriguez is her bodyguard now, you know. Nia Jax is a sustainable, like, she is a powerhouse of dominant, overcoming mountain that no one can climb. So that makes sense. But I think Bayley needs to step up as a heel, especially if there's going to be a mid-card division where you're going to have the Women's Intercontinental Championship and the Women's United States Championship. And I think that is what they are leaning towards. And I think they're going to go into, potentially, at the end of it, Jade Cargill against Bianca Belair, with Bayley possibly having done it on Bianca Belair's behalf. And I think they might do that kind of route, in the same way as the who ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin. It turned out it was Rikishi, but Rikishi was actually working for Triple H, and Triple H had an alibi, so that's why he couldn't run over Triple H. That's why he couldn't have ran over Stone Cold. But it does eventually end up eventually getting to the stage where it is Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H, and I think we're going to get to the stage where it is Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. Because they have hinted, you know, towards a little bit of a breakup and all that kind of thing as well. And I think that is maybe where they're going to go with it. So, for that all to happen, I also think that Tiffany Stratton might potentially consider doing a cash-in. I don't know if she's going to cash in just now, but I think Tiffany might consider doing a cash-in against Liv Morgan. But, you know, Liv Morgan's down. Tiffany has the briefcase and everything, and Nia Jax will think that she's about to cash in the Money in the Bank on her again, and the that might cost them the match. And I could also see it being Rhea Ripley. It ends up in a kind of 2-on-1 scenario against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and just powers through both of them. Just eventually, I think probably pinning Raquel Rodriguez, because I think it's going to be Rhea Ripley winning the belt at either Royal Rumble or Saturday Night Main Event or one of those things. Because if rumors are to be believed, there is both Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss looking to return to the WWE, which makes most sense for that to happen in the Women's Royal Rumble. And I could see a scenario where Becky Lynch is she is the one that comes back as a surprise entrant during the Women's Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble match, and fights Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I could see that definitely being a thing. And I could also see it turning into Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania on the other end of the women's title. So I think that could be very, very interesting. If Alexa Bliss does return, I don't know if she's going to be part of the Wyatt Six or what her storyline is going to be, but I think Becky Lynch makes more sense for taking on Rhea Ripley. That is my suggestions. Now let's talk about the men's War Games and what is going to happen here, because I think I know the finish to the match, and I think I also know what is going to main event WrestleMania. So huge predictions here, huge spoilers, if you will, because if you watched Raw and you saw Paul Heyman come out with CM Punk and they hit the spear and the GTS at the same time, and then both men are standing on the ring and against each other, staring each other down with Paul Heyman in the middle, I think that is your main event of WrestleMania, and I think it's going to be for the World Heavyweight Championship, because I think that Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble. In the same way that Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble, I think Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble. But Roman Reigns isn't going to choose Cody Rhodes. The same way that Cody Rhodes chose Roman Reigns is going to choose against that. He's going to say, nah, that's old news. You know, the same way that Roman does. Because Cody Rhodes, I think, is going to be fighting against the People's Champion, the final boss, The Rock. And I think that Roman Reigns is going to choose to take on the brand new World Heavyweight Champion, one CM Punk. And I think it's going to be a heel CM Punk. And I think Paul Heyman is going to side with CM Punk over Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns abandoned Paul Heyman after last year's WrestleMania. Like, Paul Heyman was like, have you heard from the tribal chief? Where's the tribal chief? You've spoke to him. Have you spoke to the tribal chief? You know, all this kind of thing to Solo, when Solo hadn't. And I don't, the fact that Roman Reigns tried to phone Paul Heyman and it said this number cannot be reached, and then Paul Heyman comes out and, you know, he brings out CM Punk. I think Paul Heyman is going back to his previous Paul Heyman guy of CM Punk and taking that over Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns thinks he's got his wise man back, but actually Roman Reigns is all alone. And if you know your history of WWE, you will know that Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, The Shield, came into the main roster as the bodyguards of CM Punk, while CM Punk was champion, defending the belt against The Rock. So I think there's a lot of storyline that you can have there, but that Roman Reigns is, for all intents and purposes, fighting his mentor at WrestleMania, a mentor that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins both hate. And I could actually see this uniting Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and I could see CM Punk, with the help of Paul Heyman, being a significant threat. I could also see a heel CM Punk being the one to take down Gunther, and I could also see Ludwig Kaiser being involved in that. And I could see a WrestleMania match where it's going to be Gunther versus Ludwig, in a way of Ludwig trying to prove himself and Gunther trying to get back his previous, you know, his kind of Walter gimmick, where he was like, this unstoppable creature. So, what do I think the finish of Survivor Series War Games is? The War Games match is most definitely the main event. And I think first of all, Roman Reigns has to fight Solo Sikoa. However, I don't think that's happening at WrestleMania. I don't see that being a WrestleMania worthy main event. I think that's going to happen at Saturday Night Main Event, or it's going to happen at Royal Rumble, or I don't think it's even going to happen at Royal Rumble. I think it's going to happen somewhere else where Roman Reigns gets back the Olafala. And I think Roman Reigns has maybe Jacob Fatu in the guillotine chokehold, which is Roman Reigns' submission finisher. And I think CM Punk puts Solo Sikoa in the Anaconda Vice, which is, of course, CM Punk's submission finisher. So it's the Anaconda Vice versus the guillotine. And I think both of them go to tap, but Solo Sikoa taps first. And Roman Reigns thinks that he's won, and then he's like, oh no, like, CM Punk stole the victory like seconds before I got it, and that kind of ignites the anger that Roman Reigns has for CM Punk. I think there's also going to be some other things. I think SmackDown's going to be pretty interesting as well, but that is what I foresee happening. I think it's going to all lead to a feud between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. So I would be absolutely shocked if the bloodline, the new bloodline, manages to defeat the original OG bloodline and CM Punk. I'm not sure why Bronson Reed's in there. Probably just for like some cool move, like maybe Bronson Reed, like, tsunamis off the top of the cage onto someone. Don't know, but I think the main story here is going to be Roman Reigns and CM Punk. So let's go over everything. So big old Grand Cat is going to predict that Roman Reigns and CM Punk, along with the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn, are going to defeat the new bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed. I think Gunther is going to retain against Damian Priest, because I think Gunther is probably going to lose it to CM Punk, and probably at the Royal Rumble. I could also see Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley defeating Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae, because Tiffany Stratton caused them the match because she goes to consider cashing in her Money in the Bank. Maybe Raquel Rodriguez steps in the way of Liv Morgan. Maybe Nia Jax gets offended thinking that she's about to cash in on her. And I think it's going to lead eventually to Rhea Ripley in a 2-on-1 fight against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, with Raquel Rodriguez being defeated, and eventually with Rhea defeating Liv Morgan on the lead up to WrestleMania to set up Rhea Ripley, I think, versus Becky Lynch. A returning Becky Lynch. Then we have Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. To me, it makes sense for Braun Breaker to defend this championship, to retain it, because I think Sheamus is probably going to win it at WrestleMania. And I think Ludwig is going to go into a storyline with Gunther. So, for my money, I think it makes more sense to keep Braun Breaker essentially undefeated going into WrestleMania, to make it a much, much bigger experience when Sheamus defeats Big Braun Breaker himself for the Intercontinental Championship. Then lastly we have LA Knight. Yeah. Against Shinsuke Nakamura. I would be absolutely shocked if Shinsuke Nakamura defeated LA Knight for the United States Championship. I don't see it happening. I don't think there's a chance in hell of it happening. I think if LA Knight is losing the belt to anyone, it should probably be someone along the lines of Carmelo Hayes or Santos Escobar or Andrade, someone that he's been feuding with for a little while, not just someone hasn't even had a full match until in Shinsuke Nakamura. So I think it's nice to have Shinsuke Nakamura come back and be perceived as a threat, as a big heel, but I don't see him winning the belt. So let's put those into predictions. So I think LA Knight is going to win. Yeah. JPL's not going to be in the show. The Rock's not going to be in the show. Well, The Rock might show up. He might show up at the end. I don't know. Liv Morgan, I think, is not winning. Roman Reigns is going to win alongside CM Punk. Shawn Michaels isn't there. Andrew Dawkins, Kevin Owens, Tyler Bate, Maxine Dupree. Damian Priest is not winning it. I'm going to put it as Gunther is going to win. Kairi Sane is unfortunately not on the show. Although Kairi Sane would have been an excellent placement in place of Bailey. Dakota Kai is not there. Line of Valkyrie. Braun Breaker will defend his Intercontinental Championship. Let's go down a little bit more. Xavier Woods isn't going to do much, although I am excited to see that 10-year anniversary of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, especially if Big E is going to be there as well. I think that'd be very, very cool. There's another Liv Morgan, which we are going to ignore promptly. Apollo Crews, Alexa Bliss, Zoe Stark, Pete Dunne. I don't think so. Bianca Belair. Well, Bianca Belair is going to be on the winning women's side, I think. So we'll put her in. Charlotte Flair, The Miz, Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany Stratton's going to be in the losing end, as is going to be Nia Jax. William Regal, John Cena, Xavier Woods, Ilya. Oh, the Gobbledygooker, of course. Yes, that makes sense. And Bailey. I think Bailey is going to be in the winning team as well. But let's see if we've got anyone better. Rhea Ripley. Yes, I think Rhea Ripley is absolutely going to win. Taker's not going to be there. Trish, no. Jimmy Uso is going to be part of the winning team. So, yeah. I think we're going to put Big Jim in there. And I think that'll really make Big Jim Uxio, or whatever his name is, on Discord. I think that'll make him very, very happy to see that my predictions are going to include Big Jimmy Uso in there as well. So, once again, folks, one last time, I think Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk are going to defeat the New Bloodline. I think Gunther is going to retain against Damian Priest. I think Rhea, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, Bailey, and Bailey, are going to defeat Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. I think that in the Intercontinental Championship, I think Braun Breaker is going to retain his belt against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. And in the United States Championship, I think LA Knight, is going to defend his championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't think any titles are changing hands, and that is what I am going to say. So there's my predictions. The man is here, says, hello, Grandcat. Hello, the man is here. Welcome. You have just tuned in at the end of the predictions right there. And those are done. Let's go ahead and... Oh, we have brand new quests. So I shall do my best to get those underway and see if I can get another wonderful little... Oh, we're also on 69 of 100 objective counters. I'm going to see if we can get another rare to draft pick, and if we can try and get this back up, so we can get a guaranteed Legion rare, and then 10 of the following of these, and then of course 2 supports, as well as some equipment. Future Royal says, don't mind me spamming the chat, Grand Cat. Actually, Future Royal, I appreciate you spamming the chat. I enjoy having a chat to discuss with and to talk with, as opposed to a silent chat. So thank you especially to the Grand Cat Grand Fleet members out there who take the time to write those little messages for big old Grand Cat to answer and reply to. Those are the most special and bestest of all of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet members, in my opinion. Future says, you saw my predictions. I have not, but I shall read them right now. Let me see here. Future Royalty says, Gunther, Braun, Team Rhea, my EO, OG Bloodline, and LA Knight. I think you have correctly predicted exactly what I said as well. Gunther retaining, Braun Breaker retaining, LA Knight retaining, Team Rhea winning, and OG Bloodline winning. Yeah, those are the exact predictions that I came to the same conclusions with. So, congratulations, very well done, Future Royalty. I think you have indeed paid much attention to the wrestling, and I think we have came to the same conclusions. So there we go. And that is going to be it for this little video, folks. And I really hope you all enjoyed. That's weird. Because this says that 0 minutes and 0 seconds, but I'm still allowed to play it. I wonder if I win this, if it would give me the 5-win streak here, or the 6-win streak even, or if it would reset down to 1. Future says refresh game. I'm sure if I do, then this 5-win streak will disappear. So, let's play a very quick game of Boom and see what it does, because I'm very, very curious. Also, I am now in the original house of the big old Grand Cat, so you can see that the stream is working significantly nicer than what it was earlier this morning. That is because I was in the Grand Cat's Grand Flat. Now the Grand Cat is back in his grand house. Yeah. And let's accept this surrender. And what is my win streak? That is the question. I'll get that in a second. The win streak has reset back to 1. Very unfortunate. That's because it took far too long to get round to playing Boom once again. Well, that is going to be it for this little video, folks. I really hope that you've all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.